So my concern is this, is that we have many people in the community who don't have medical insurance. Person who doesn't have medical insurance, person who doesn't understand English, and person who lives in isolated areas. So what kind of solution do you have for that?
Okay, we will try to get to them. No, don't forget, we took dengue in Hana and Naalehu. All right, so there's a lot of people out there. We will try to get to them. There are other people who are out there who don't like the government, okay? And so when we went to inspect and to find the cases, people said, yeah, I hate the government. You are going to turn me in for marijuana, illegal structure, illegal, what do you call that, car? So we had to actually clear with the police, and we got the mayor, right? We're not going to turn him in, right?
I just like to clear that up. No one have permitting. We get Deputy Director of Planning, Bobby Command. No permitting, zoning violations. We had HPD. We want people, Auntie Jessie, great question, yeah? For those who know can, but I'll give it back to Dr. Pang, but he said he experienced this too, where people scared call because they're worrying about other things. And we want people to call. We want people to get help. Regardless of obstacles, hurdles, or barriers, we're here to help. Because by helping our community, especially those who are afraid to report, we're not only helping them, we're helping their family, their neighbors, and ultimately our community. So we want to encourage everybody. Nobody's going to get busted. Nobody's going to get arrested. Nobody's property taxes going up for dengue. But once we hopefully cross our fingers, knock on wood, get past dengue, then we might come back after that for property. No.
Now, I'm not kidding you. After we made the promise, the Maui police asked us about certain things. Not only did we tell them, we're not going to tell you, and the mayor stood by and said, you're not going to tell you, but you will not go to the house just by random because it looks like you're tracking this guy. Oh, man, that was a statement. But Jesse, this is for you. You go to your community, try to help them. If they say, get out of my face, call me. We had this in Hana. This guy says, I hate the government. I don't have to explain to you why. I'm not going to waste my time, but we're going to watch you. And what happened is we told him, your place is hot, you got hot mosquitoes, and then your two kids, try watch, in 7-8 days, they're going to get sick. Those kids got sick as hell, okay? And the mother, she's like, what? You didn't let them help. That guy became our biggest champion at this kind of meetings, okay? So yes, we will. You can't force people. We do not want to force ourselves because then you drive everything underground. You force people, they just hide. But, I mean, the facts is the facts. The kids got so sick. The guys are champion now. And,
I had dengue. I got it in Fiji. The thing is, I'm on number 2. So I'm thinking, okay, the minute I get the fever, this was about 10, 12 years ago, yeah. But anytime I get a fever, I go in, yeah, right? I mean, do you just like the first day you get the fever, what, Because I want to be proactive in this. So.
The doc will say, what else you got? Do you have the headache? Do you have the rash? The rash is kind of like a giveaway. And do you have the pain in the joints? They will also say, do you have a head cold? Any cough or stuffed nose? That's not dengue. That's flu. Flu season's coming. That's okay. Call the doc. Try not to swamp the system. We're being loaded with real dengues coming out now. So, okay, no. But we can take a phone call to say, relax, and we can also trace your area to say where you live, where you've been. And if you've been to those exposed areas, come on in.
Oh, yeah. I have one more thing. I put agnique, which is a larvicide, in the tank, which around here we got all tons and tons of catchment tanks, yeah? So I put a thing called agnique in there, and it's always worked for me to keep them down, okay? The thing is, I cannot find it around here anywhere. And I'm just wondering if anybody's heard of that or know where to get it.
The short answer is I don't believe any of us have heard of it. Has anyone?
Yeah, the University of Hawaii has a program where they did a lot of work regarding catchment systems, and that product you're talking about has since stopped being made. So they're also on board with us trying to identify what else is out there on the market that can be put into potable water sources as a treatment. It was a larvicide, you put it in your catchment, it killed the pupa larva in the tank, and it was safe for potable water, fish ponds, etc. So, yeah. One of the best techniques is cover your water tank. And we know we're asking people if you could, and I know it's a cost issue, but that's one of the best things is cover your water tank. Yeah. Yeah. So as soon as we hear of what products are out there that have been approved for use in potable water, because a lot of our community is depending on catchment systems, we'll make that information available. We've been researching, and that's why we're familiar with technique.
The question I had was, is this for humans only, that the mosquitoes can affect, or can I get it from, we've got a lot of animals around here.
The virus goes between humans and mosquito, human mosquito. It must go obligatory. It must go to mosquito for whatever, 14 days. Then it must stay in man before it's ready to transmit to man. Then it must be in man about 5 days till you get fever. Now, thank God it doesn't go into animals, because if it went to animals like rat lung disease, you never get rid of it because you never control those animals. But the mosquito, the one we have, you have, it likes to feed on animals because it needs blood. But the virus will not go into the animal. So in Africa, they don't do this for dengue, they do this for malaria, which is the same thing, mosquito man, mosquito man. As soon as they get their fevers, they bring the cattle under the house. The mosquitoes bite the cattle because they need blood. They don't care if it's man or animal. And then the cattle doesn't get the malaria. So it kind of dilutes it out. For us, if you say, well, then should I bring the animals near my house? Animals and birds, it's kind of neutral. You might dilute out the virus when the mosquito bites the animal instead of you, but you're going to get plenty of mosquitoes, because by eating the blood, it makes plenty of mosquitoes. So it's like neither here nor there.
I watched one video by that a citizen put up, Tane Dada, and he talked about putting Clorox in his water system. So, but that's one thing that you should have good information on, is what to do with catchment systems, because our island has a lot of them. A question I'd like to ask is, now we're up to 31 confirmed cases.
33.
Is there information on how many people are being tested right now? Because there's a lag on that. And are you doing, we're taking a week to get tests because we're sending them off to the mainland or somewhere. Don't we have people in this state that can do these tests?
We are testing in state now. Okay, that's good. But there's kind of a backlog because plenty of guys asking for testing. You're actually right on the money. There's 33 positives, but the question is, well, how many did you test? I don't know. I thought it was like 38 or something, 39. So you're getting a high positivity rate. In Maui, midway through the epidemic, half of them were positive. You cast such a wide net. Come to me if you have symptoms. Plenty of guys came, and it wasn't dengue, but you cast the extra wide net. In the end, when Maui eradicated dengue, we had 95 confirmed cases, but we had tested 300 something. Okay? So your job is to bring in the cases so that we can test them, do additional case search, mosquito control, et cetera. Okay, you got to bring in the cases. In Maui, despite the people who said, get out of my yard, eventually 85% of the infected people got sick. Remember, not all people are going to get sick, and they're going to spread it. And out of the 85% who got sick, they all came to us. Gee, how do you know that? Because we walked the community at night when everybody was home eating dinner, and we asked them, hey, did you get sick? Oh, yes. Did you report to us? And a lot of them said, yeah, don't you remember me? Well, I couldn't. I just said, it's dark. I'm sorry, I didn't see. But we got them all. Some other countries we work in, like Honduras, maybe 40% get sick, But out of the sick people, how many come to you? 6%. So you're just a bystander. You're just watching this thing go by. Okay? In Brazil, 40% get sick. How many came to you? Gee, Dr. Pang, tops 20%. So the other 80%, you're just watching it go. Yes?
Out here, it can take 3 weeks to get to see a doctor. If I call up tomorrow and say I want an appointment for a doctor, so is there a special protocol if you think you have dengue?
The head epidemiologist has notified all the doctors, we're watching on this one, to move quickly. Okay, there was some slow movement. I know a couple docs slow. To move quickly on this, or by the time we test you and get to you, you're going to infect all the other mosquitoes. So we will move on this, and when doctors are slow to bring it to testing, we will call them up and track it. Department of Health. No, you call your doc, and your doc will call you in for testing. Our job is to make sure that you call your doc, or you tell your neighbor to call their doc.
Thanks, Dr. Pang. If you guys sick and you got to wait, doctor, you got a couple-week backlog, then call our emergency medical personnel. Call 911. We've already talked to our EMTs, our paramedics, our fire personnel, and we'll get out there. We have a mapping system. Every call we get, we're doing testing, checking for symptoms. If you fulfill the criteria of the symptoms of dengue, we'll get you through the system. So we don't want people to get too frustrated or feel like you got to call a state agency. We're right here. We're in the community. We got a fire station in every community. We get fire emergency personnel in every community. Everybody's on board. So if you cannot get to your doctor, you cannot get to DOH, please just call 911. And if our guys, if we can get yourself to the station. If you can, better yet, then we don't need to send our ambulance. We can save them for, other emergencies. But if you can get yourself to a fire station in your community, and if you fulfill the symptoms, we'll follow through, we'll map it, and we'll get you to medical personnel, okay? So I don't like nobody feel like you just got to stand in line, okay?
And then to follow up on that too, it may also be possible for the DOH to help arrange a lab meeting for you. So if I don't know if Kau Hospital has a clinical labs there, then we may be able to put the order in, and if you can get up there and you're showing some symptoms already, then we may be able to streamline that. That's kind of we much prefer you to go to your physician and get that checked out, but we may also be able to help arrange those things as well.
I want to thank you all for coming and telling us all this information, but I've talked to so many people in this community, and everyone agrees that we should be entitled to the knowledge of where these cases are. I don't care about who it is, just where it is, because human nature is to be very complacent, as you know. And so if people don't have the knowledge, like if I have the opportunity to go visit a friend, say in Mark Twain, but I found out that there was hotspot, I might not, I have the option to say, no, let's meet somewhere else. I don't think it's fair for people not to know, because I think complacency is going to be the big issue here.
I'll take a little bit of that. I guess that is it's a hard question. Part of it is, of course, respecting the privacy of the individual. Of course, and of course you'd be happy with just a general area as well. The nature, of course, of this outbreak so far is that, pretty much from our map, we know that there was one hot zone in particular that everyone visited. That should probably give us an indication of where. The problem on this island goes back to that travel issue. So are we looking at people's residence, where they work, where they were camping that weekend? It's those kind of questions. So the idea that we know where it is tough. Right, but is it? Right.
Well, we're not going. Let me address that too, because we feel the same way. And exactly as soon as we got our first briefing, first thing we said, DOH, hey, you guys, I need that info now. Oh wait, we got to go through protocol. We got to go through testing. We said no, we need that immediately, every day. So we get briefings through civil defense 3 times a day. We're GISing it, mapping it. If there's any common areas, that's what we did with Ho'okena. We closed it down as soon as we noticed, immediately on our first briefing, that we had an overlay. We went in, shut the park down, did spraying. Because county, we can do a lot. We see common areas, might have dry wells there. Yeah, so we're responding rapidly. We're mapping everything. We also went through the, hey, we cannot tell you, but you gotta tell us, because we're responsible for public health safety in the community. So I wanna assure you, we're getting that information in 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. We're mapping it, GISing it, and DOH and the county is sharing that mapping of information. So that's the answer to that. Nobody hiding it. Nobody trying to not share that information. We might, we're not asking for the name. Even with us, DOH not telling us, the individual, the person, but we're getting the mapping information. And we're mapping it, tracking it, because nobody can be complacent, not on our watch. We've never been complacent on a single emergency. We're not going to start now. We've had people travel through Naalehu. We know more multiple instances of people getting infected here, but people who have been infected have traveled through Naalehu. That's the mapping we get right now. I don't know that information exactly mapped.
We have tests pending.
So we have tests pending, no confirmation. Okay? But I want to just assuage that fear, alleviate that, because otherwise, no need to do that. I know Dr. Pang was kind of alarming. I was going to take the mic away from him. But I just want you to know, we mapping, we tracking every day, 3 times a day. And it, and that's why we're educating and we're going into the community. We get places in Hamakua, they get rivers run through the town. We get rivers, waterfalls, valleys. You like to talk hotspot mosquitoes surround senior centers. So we track in the whole island. So I just want to say that. I don't give the mic back. I'm not going to get in this back and forth. You got to know exactly where, who got to know. I just want to address your concern that we're tracking, we're mapping, and nobody's being complacent, right? Because we have other communities that have way more threat and harm, but we're doing everything we can and nobody letting anything go by. Okay? Cool.
I just want to say one thing before whoever's about to ask the next question. So what I will say is, it's basically the best if the complacency issue. And thank you, Mayor. That was awesome. And that's great to know that the county is being that proactive in terms of the fire department. And all I think that's absolutely fantastic. But really, this is the best thing you can do, no matter what. Is you just have to assume it's everywhere. Because if you look at that mapping, it really is all around the island. And so, as far as any of us know, there's really no safe place to go where you just absolutely don't have to worry about it. At this point, everybody, island-wide, should be practicing fight the bite, and that's why we're out here doing this. But that's a great question, and that's all I had to say, so.
I'm not against all of you that is over here, what agency or doctor. I just want to say that, when I lived down in Honoapo, and I was 12 years old, I used to raise pigs and then go to school. And then at that time, had these people come out, I don't know what agency, when I was 12 years old, came to where I kept my pigs, and then they checked the water and the mosquitoes at that time. And then why at that time, I didn't even know about dengue fever. And today, after people getting dengue fever, then all this humbug coming out. How come they didn't, the people didn't go out before this?
What year was this?
I don't know. I was
Second World
12
War.
grade.
Huh?
12 years old.
No, but what year?
Oh, I'm 80 years old now.
Well, okay, the 20s. Okay, wait. All right. Okay, I got that. Okay, I got that. No, wait. First of all, during the Second World War, okay, this is after you, okay? But during the Second World War, the Allies were so afraid that our forces would be taken out by dengue. So they sent and sprayed up the Yazoos, sampled everybody, all the neighbor islands, to clear out dengue. They even were so afraid that if the enemy knew we had dengue, they would just do another second Pearl Harbor. Now, this is before that. So that kind of stuff, mosquito, pig, and all, there was outbreaks before that that frightened us. I think one was like the plague, but that's not mosquito-borne, but usually when we go out for everything. Mosquito, sanitation, hand washing, the whole bit. Okay. All right. Okay, the question is, why do we have it now? Remember, worldwide, dengue has increased 15-fold, not 15%, 15 times in the last 20 years because somebody let their guard down. Somebody stopped killing the mosquitoes. Why did we stop killing the mosquitoes? Because the mosquito carries yellow fever and dengue. We made the vaccine for yellow fever. And people said, phew, no more yellow fever. And they said, well, what about the dengue? The dengue guys got underfunded. The mosquito went out of control. And now we pay for it. We can't go back to control the mosquito. You cannot enter the cities of the slums where dengue is. Rio, you've worked there, 90% drug lord. You cannot enter that to control the dengue. Only 10% you can do. Good luck on the Olympics.
How do you access the mapping information? How do you access the mapping information that's been where the...
There is mapping tools or mapping graphics on the Department of Health's website that you can see. The mapping that it's...
Basically, the website's right here. If you just go to the DOH website. Sorry. If you just go to the DOH website, you can find the map on there. So... Okay.
And
health.hawaii.gov. Now that's the main homepage. Right. When you go to that page, and the very first thing that hopefully pops up, because there's a scrolling thing that tells you all the wonderful things going on. One of those things is going to say dengue fever outbreak, Big Island. Click on that. Inside, there's a bunch of documents, including copies of this, Fight the Bite. There's a general facts question. There's some other messaging for you, and there's also a link to the map. Now, hopefully that map is being updated. I don't know what the frequency of that updating is, but at 1 p.m., Monday through Friday, I assume that case count is also on that page. So you can kind of see if it's been going up, if it's leveling out, or if it's just steadily climbing, or maybe, well, it's not going to decrease, I guess.
my other question is, who specifically do you call if you know of a property that is severely infested with mosquitoes?
Severely infected properties, you call Vector Control Department of Health, Aaron Bueno, and Aaron will give you his contact information. He's got a Vector Control crew of 14 that's been spraying the past couple weeks. Today we did training for additional county personnel. We'll do so again Thursday to make sure it's not just on him and the state, that we have county trained crews so that we can cover as much ground as possible. Aaron can tell you.
Yeah, for the DOH, our response team has been focusing on the cases that are being forwarded to us for response. So it's both suspect and confirmed cases. So in regards to the question regarding a neighbor that might have breeding sites that you think, is that was the question?
The property itself is just heavily infested with mosquitoes, just because the property itself is unoccupied.
It's unoccupied? Yeah, we have many areas on this island that is heavily infested with mosquitoes. So, like I said, because of our resources, what we're concentrating on is tracking cases, 200 yards around the home, making sure that these mosquitoes, if they get infected, cannot infect anyone else.
Yeah, I want to thank all you people coming for your expertise. Thank you, Mayor. Regarding the preventative, instead of DEET, what's the situation with electronic devices, and at nighttime also with the mosquito coil? How toxic is this stuff, especially DEET? I hear if you don't wash it off and that stuff gets in your bloodstream, you might be dealing with Agent Orange. types of situations. Who knows what with Dow Chemical?
Okay, the electronic devices on Maui, we killed the wrong mosquito, okay? Not, first of all, this is a day biter. So almost by default, you kill the night biter, okay? But someday the night biter will bring in its own disease, okay, West Nile. But then the DEET, the very high doses, I think above 25%, maybe 30%, has been known to cause seizures in little kids. So when we got the big donations on Maui and we're handing it out, we kind of got the lower levels so that people who thought we were giving them Santan lotion wouldn't overdose their kid. So for adults, yeah, go ahead, put it on. The higher the concentration, the less often you have to put it on. But for little kids, you try to stay below like 15%, and then you got to put it on more often. To me, the mosquito coil, it's irritating to you and the mosquito, but I don't think it's that toxic. We just had this big discussion about this. You go in your house, it's a day biter. The mosquitoes are in your house, day and night. Kill them. Because if you put the mosquito coil in your house, it irritates them and they go over there, but they're still in your house. By the way, if you turn on your light at night and wake up the day biter, it'll bite you. Okay? So what is the purpose of the mosquito coil? To shoosh them away. Put it on the patio where they go away. In your house, kill them.
Reach out.
Real quick, I know Jason covered it, but when we talk this mosquito, that mosquito, so real quick, just for me, get daytime mosquito, nighttime mosquito. Okay? Everybody understand that? The daytime ones get like 4, the nighttime ones get 2, but no matter. So the nighttime ones, no dengue. Okay? Nighttime mosquitoes. And that one can fly a couple miles, they tell. The daytime one, that's the dengue mosquito, the daytime mosquito. And that one, that's why they spray 200 yards around, because the range of that mosquito is 150 yards. I did ask the scientists, the smart guys, what if the nighttime mate with the daytime? Can the daytime then fly a couple miles? They said not sure. So just for make sure, nighttime mosquito, no dengue, daytime dengue, short distance, short range. Yeah? So that's where we go, what? Spray everything, kill everything? No, right? So real simple kind. Mosquito bite you, but cannot bite you if, dengue. If he bite you, right? Say the mosquito, no more dengue, you no more dengue. Mosquito bite you daytime, you're not going to get dengue. Right? Everybody got that? Just get in. So the mosquito, listen, this is how you get them. I'm trying to make them clear so we don't get confused. Nighttime, daytime, Egypti, these guys use fancy words, sometimes hard to understand. So I'm just saying, the nighttime, West Nile virus, not to say the nighttime mosquito is safe, but nighttime, that's not dengue. Daytime. So, you get bit, okay? No more dengue in the mosquito, no more dengue in you, the mosquito bite you, no more dengue. Okay? But if you got bit and you get dengue, the first few days you just sick. No problem. Mosquito bite you, not gonna get dengue. But when you show symptoms, about 1 week in, that's when you're the dengue carrier, right? You started to get sick. The doctor mentioned you get flu symptoms. Okay, now you're susceptible to being one carrier, right? Now the mosquito bite you within another week or so, while you symptomatic. That's a real word. Okay, thanks. Me, I'm a lawyer now and doctor. I gotta check. But when you symptomatic, so you get bit, you take about 3, 5, can take a week. Boom, now you're sick. Oh, no more cough. Sorry, wrong cough. But you're sick. Flu-like symptoms, right? Flu-like symptoms. Then for that week, that's when you danger. Now if that mosquito bite you at that time, right? Boom. Now that mosquito is a dengue carrier. But because that's daytime, and when bite you here, that's why we always tracking. This mosquito not gonna fly 5 miles down the coast, 2 miles down the coast. Going to stay within about 150 yards, 200. So that's the threat. Everybody got that? That's as simple as I could make them. But so that's the threat, and that's what we're trying to track. But again, these doctors and DOH is trying to find out people were sick a month ago, right? They're trying to track mosquitoes that was, okay, just checking if you're listening. But so when we go back, or yeah, so what we're trying to track is where were you when you were sick, yeah? At that time, where was your range? That's why when we say Naalehu and people travel, we're trying to say where were you in case when you were sick during that week, mosquito bit you then, that becomes the threat. Okay, so Paul, I'm going to turn them back to the smart guys, okay?
They also breed in different types of water. The nighttime biters generally breed in highly polluted, stagnant water like piggeries, so those mosquitoes, never heard about, but they still bite. But for now. The daytime biters, they usually like to breed in very small pockets of water, very clean water, like caps, like tires, etc. So there's a difference between the two breeding sites. And yes, they could travel up to 150 yards, maybe a little bit longer, but they'll probably stick around the house where they have you or their feeding source, so maybe even 20 yards or something like that. So if you can search around your house, and I know all of you guys are going to be probably doing that, you see something like a highly polluted pond, I say, okay, that's not an Aegypti breeding site. It might be a Culex breeding site, but, oh, sorry. So when you look around, I can bring back like 6 years ago. I live in Panayeva. I don't know if you guys know where Panayeva is. Heavy rainforest area. A lot of mosquitoes I was having. My mother-in-law liked to keep bromeliads. So, bless her soul, she had passed on. I destroyed all the bromeliads. I have my gutters in my house. It's another good source for these breeders. Yeah. Unfortunately, the way it was built, the water was piling up on one end. It wasn't draining. So what I did is I went underneath the gutter and I drilled holes, so it slowly drains out. Yeah. I even have a little stick that because it's next to a tree, and the tree drops its leaves, it plugs the gutter holes. I can clean it out that way. So yes, I still do have mosquitoes, but not as much as before. Big problem. Yes. So as you mentioned, you can use a soap spray because these little wigglers need to get up to the air to breathe. So if the soap solution, I think what is that? It's the surface tension, it changes, so they can't get up to breathe and they'll die. And it's like Dawn solution, 4 ounces to a gallon. Just spray it.
My question is, okay, we're talking about mosquito-borne, right? What about, isn't that blood-borne? What's the difference? I'm a little confused there. Okay. Because mosquito-borne, they bite you. They suck in your blood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I'll just continue, just so you know where I'm coming from. I'm taking somebody who has dengue. We get into an accident or something. Both of us get cut, blood, transfer. Yeah. I'm not going to get dengue?
It is in your blood, but the amount you carry, it needs to be amplified in the mosquito. But if you got a transfusion, I think you would get dengue. But if you got cut from them, it's not enough. It has to amplify in the mosquito. You're right, it is blood, but it's the minute amount from the mosquito. When the mosquito sucks, sometimes it spits in too. In fact, it clears the proboscis. That's where the dengue comes in, then it sucks. So it is, okay, technically it is blood-borne, but it is the minute amount, and it needs to amplify in the mosquito.
Not the virus itself. When the mosquito gets infected, when it gets infected, that virus goes up into its salivary glands. It hangs out in there. So that's why when the mosquito then bites this guy, spit a little bit, everything that clears out. The virus is concentrated in those salivary glands of the mosquito, so it's really easy to pass on. So it may not just be the blood. That's where the virus actually likes to live in the mosquito.
I know I've lived in Ocean View and now Naalehu for a couple of years, and a lot of people work either in Kona or even all the way in Hilo, and they drive to and from Naalehu, Ka'u every day. And I just thought that that was a concern because they pass through all these different areas, stopping, starting. My sweetheart works in all over Kona. I mean, he's a repair person, so he goes out to the resorts, and then he goes to Holualoa. So he's hopping all over the place, and there are a lot of people in those positions where they go from place to place repairing refrigerators or copiers or whatever, and they're exposing themselves. And there's like, how do you follow that? You know, unless you put a tracking device on his ankle or something. And that was just one thing I wanted to bring up, because so many people don't realize how, like one of the bank people over there, he drives all the way from Hilo every day that he works over here. But my primary question was, I have 4 children, and at what point do I need to be concerned if myself or any of my family is getting this as opposed to a flu? At what point do I need to be concerned that this, if they get sick, it may not be a flu?
We are not asking you to make that determination. We're asking you to call your medical folks, your physician. They have all been notified, and there's going to be a grand rounds by video conference on Saturday for them to kind of get reinforced. But we are asking you, whatever it is, if your kids start acting, you know, your kids have had the flu before. If they act strange, mental status change, bleeding, cold, clammy, hard to wake up, time to call your doc. Okay, in general, if they have dengue, they can give it to other mosquitoes, etc., and carry it on. Usually, when they're in that state, they're so tired, they don't want to get up and go anywhere anyway. In Maui, had the guys, wasted, but we gave them mosquito nets and repellent so that other mosquitoes wouldn't bite them. 15% of the people will not have symptoms. You won't even know it. And if you say, well, 3 kids are sick, how about that kid? I'm going to confine him, he might be sick too. Try not to do that. Try not to punish people or quarantine, because then you drive it underground. If I had dengue and you made me do things I don't want to do, I'm not going to tell you I'm sick. And we faced that a lot initially until we gained the public's trust.
Just a couple questions. The first is, just was wondering, what product are you guys spraying? And is it something that we could purchase at the store and apply ourselves? And then my second question is, on social media as well as the internet, they're saying that papaya juice from the leaves can cure or alleviate some of the symptoms. Is that true?
I'll do the second.
You can do the second one.
I'll do the second one.
I'll do the first.
Look, to me, that's a claim, okay? I review for the U.S. Congress, and we always look at dengue treatments. That has never crossed our, nothing even close. Okay, so that's just a claim. Now
the first question, our crews are using as an adulticide, the one that we're spraying with the foggers, aqua resilin. It's a pyrethrum product. It's basically a restricted use product that even if you had a restricted use license, you cannot obtain. It's only for public health purposes, like the Department of Health or some other, like a tribal community. So if you're looking at supposedly trying to reduce adult mosquitoes, the best method is to stop its breeding around your area. Yeah. There's multiple products that you can buy online, I mean not online, but in the stores that you can reduce the, or eliminate breedings. Basically, the easiest way is just kick the can over so there's no standing water.
And just regard that aqua resilin, it's a real restricted use, as he said, yeah, so not everybody can use them, so that's why we're trying to train as many people as we can. We did one complete asset inventory of how much we can get available, how much is accessible, just to make sure we don't run out. But yeah, I think this was a wonderful educational presentation, because it's real simple, right? I guess at the end of the day, with all the expertise, it's You know, protect yourself, clean out around the house, turn over empty tires. You know, we taking them, Department of Environmental Management, before they charge you, you know, a tire is now free. Just bring your tires. You like get rid of old tires. Take them to the transfer stations. You guys like get rid of them. We're taking it off your hands, helping you with that. You know, take care of the kids. Long sleeve, short sleeve, light colored clothing. Do the simple stuff. Any questions, please no wait. If you get on long wait for your doctor, give us a call. The quicker we can help you, the quicker we can take care of everybody else in our community. Mahalo for you guys' help. I'd like to thank Civil Defense Chief Darryl Oliveira, Dr. Lauren Pang, Aaron Ueno, Jason De La Cruz from Naalehu, Paul, and from our team that came out, Ilihia, Karen Tishima, Bobby Kaman. And we'll stay here, you guys. If you guys have other questions, you want to come up, not everybody feel comfortable raising their hand, asking questions there on community forum, no problem. We'll stay here, answer all of you guys' questions. Okay? What is that? No, hold on, Dr. Richard. Okay, if you guys, another place you can call is 211. Okay? What'd you like to do about?
Hi. Yeah, what I wanted to say was, you know, going forward, how would you want to hear about this stuff? Would you want to have like meetings every couple of weeks here or something? Or, I mean, we don't have TV out here, we don't have very good radio. How would you want to hear about what's going on?
So you guys can go up to Richard and share your information with him. But we're going to stand right here. The smart guys be right here. First of all, everybody from Ka'u, whether you're from Pahala, Naalehu, or Ocean View, thank you for coming. And remember, the message too is, please share with your friends, share with your neighbors, share with your coworkers all the information tonight. Mahalo, everybody. God bless, and please drive home safely. Aloha.